Hello and welcome to Lost Love Chronicles.
She smirked. Is the little boy going to cry? Cute, right? Like I was the one sneaking around with a hotel receipt in my purse. I didn't cry. I said, no, I'm done. Calm. Cold. The kind of done that isn't followed by a dramatic exit or begging. Just done. What made her cry wasn't my heartbreak. It was realizing I'd already hired the divorce lawyer she'd been secretly meeting for her own escape plan. Yeah, turns out her girl's trip had more of a legal twist. So now, I'm Jared, 34, male, sitting in a hotel room with a laptop open, hands still kind of shaking, not from rage, but from a cocktail of relief, clarity, and the faint vibration of caffeine-fueled vindication. It's been a wild 72 hours. Like, if HBO picked this up, I wouldn't even need to change the dialogue. I don't even know anymore. Naomi, my wife, she's 32. We've been married 8 years, together for 11. No kids. She always said, next year. Apparently, next year never comes when your uterus is booked solid with lies. About 3 months ago, I noticed things getting weird. Distant. She was on her phone a lot. Like, I'm too busy for a conversation, but not for TikTok levels of screen time. Suddenly, every weekend became either a work trip or a girl's weekend. Textbook stuff, right? Like a rerun of Cheaters with better lighting. But the twist? I trusted her. I know. Fool me once, marry me forever. We'd had rough patches, sure. Who hasn't? But we always talked through it. Then came the credit card statements. Charges at high-end restaurants on days she claimed she was working from home. Spa treatments. Must have been therapeutic lying. And hotel charges in our city. I asked her, like a normal husband who doesn't want to believe his wife's a stealth-level liar. She waved it off. Oh, that was a client lunch. Just treating myself. Oh, that hotel thing? Booking error. They refunded me. Right. And I'm a unicorn. I didn't go full FBI, but I started paying attention. Not snooping. Just investigating with curiosity. Like a nature documentary, but with more betrayal and less David Attenborough. 2 weeks ago, she tells me she's going on another girl's trip. Vegas, baby. The holy land of bad decisions. She even showed me the group chat, screenshots of plans, reservations, excited emojis. To prove it was real. I smiled. Have fun, I said. Even drove her to the airport like a supportive husband/idiot. Watched her blow me a kiss and walked toward the terminal. Except, plot twist, she didn't go inside. She got into an Uber. At the departure's curb. Like she was heading to a very local flight. Here's the kicker. We share locations. For safety, of course. So, I pulled up the map. Watched that little blue dot move like a roach running from daylight. It stopped at the Marriott downtown. Not exactly Vegas. I didn't confront her. Nope. Old Jared might have walked in, waving screenshots and screaming like a budget reality show contestant. But not this version. This version called Tristan. Tristan, my old college buddy, survivor of a divorce so messy it should have had its own theme park. I called him up like, hey man, got a minute? His response, get a lawyer. Document everything. And whatever you do, don't let her know you know. Classic Tristan, divorced, bitter, wise. Like Yoda, but with alimony payments. So the next morning, while Naomi was supposedly at her Vegas spa day, I'm picturing cucumber slices and a hot stone massage to loosen the tension of betrayal. I was across town in a legal firm's conference room. 3 attorneys. 3 consultations. The first 2 were fine, helpful, polite, about as exciting as unsalted oatmeal. Then came Miss Erica Hayes. Halfway through explaining my situation, she pauses, tilts her head, and says, you're my second consultation this week from your household. My stomach dropped like a bad stock. I blinked. Wait. My wife. She didn't answer directly. Pros. Ethics. She just said, I can't confirm that, but I can say I have a conflict of interest that prevents me from taking your case. And right there, the puzzle clicked into place. The hotel stays. The mystery restaurant charges. She wasn't off with some Fabio lookalike. She was interviewing lawyers. Planning her exit strategy while I was at home Googling anniversary trip ideas like an absolute moron. Miss Hayes, in her classy, lawyerly calm, continued. However, I can recommend my colleague, Mr. Jeremy Park. He's excellent, and more importantly, available. Boom. I hired Jeremy on the spot. Retainer paid. Papers drawn. Full tactical divorce prep, initiated. That was 12 days ago. Then, Naomi comes back from her Vegas trip, air quotes very much intentional, glowing like she wrestled a tanning bed and lost. Spray tan. The unmistakable smell of artificial oranges and midlife crisis. She told me she lost $200 at blackjack, laughed it off like she was some lovable sitcom character instead of, her. I played along. Made dinner. Asked about her friends. Did my part in the world's worst improv show, all while quietly documenting everything. Dates, times, screenshots. FBI would have been impressed. Then yesterday, she slipped. Left her purse open on the kitchen counter while she showered. Not zipped, not tucked away, just lounging there like a trap in a cartoon. Now let me be clear. I wasn't snooping. I wasn't rifling through her things like a raccoon at a campsite. I was just moving it to hang her keys. Simple, innocent, tidy husband behavior. That's when I saw it. A receipt. Marriott. Room service. 2 guests. Champagne. Oysters. Date stamped right in the middle of her Vegas trip. Cue internal sirens. She comes out of the bathroom, towel on her head, humming some pop song like nothing's happening. And there I am, standing in the kitchen, holding the receipt like it's a court summons. I say, what's this? Her face cycled through 10 emotions in 3 seconds. Shock, confusion, anger, dread, regret, annoyance, guilt, panic, sarcasm, contempt. Then she settled, elegantly, of course, on amused contempt. She scoffs. Are you going through my purse now? Seriously. I raised an eyebrow. It was open. Receipt was right there. You want to explain the champagne for 2 at the Marriott when you were supposedly in Vegas? I asked it calmly. No yelling. Just held up the receipt like it was a winning lottery ticket. Except the prize was betrayal. She blinked. Once. Then tilted her head, lips curling into this nasty little smirk like she was auditioning for Most Punchable Face 2025. Is the little boy going to cry? Oh, fantastic. She was going with that defense. Gaslight speedrun. Then came the cherry on top. What? You think I'm cheating? God, you're pathetic. Something in me just flipped. A switch, a breaker, maybe even the whole damn fuse box. The anger, the heartbreak, the confusion, it just shut off. Evaporated. What was left behind? Pure, beautiful clarity. Like Windex on a dirty windshield. No, I said evenly. I'm done. She scoffed, crossing her arms. Done with what? Your little tantrum. I looked her dead in the eyes. Done with this marriage. She laughed. Actually laughed. Threw her head back like I'd just told a dad joke at Thanksgiving. Right? You're done. Please. You can't even pick where we eat dinner without my input. You think you're going to divorce me? I don't think, I said. I know. Jeremy Park is handling it. You should hear from him Monday. That wiped the smirk off her face so fast I swear I heard it hit the floor. Her voice went all sharp and shrill. Jeremy Park? How do you know that name? Same way I know you met with Erica Hayes. Twice. Ring a bell. Now she looked like she'd swallowed a wasp. What? What was the plan, Naomi? Blindside me. Clean me out while I was still trying to save us. You don't. You can't. Can't what? I said. Hire the lawyer you wanted before you could? Yeah. Turns out they can only represent one party. First come, first served. She went white, then red, then full exorcist mode. Screaming about how I'd ruined everything. How she'd been planning this for months. Oh, the audacity of me having the nerve to exist outside her little script. You had no right to spy on me. Spy. I raised an eyebrow. You told me you were in Vegas. While meeting divorce lawyers. That's not spying. That's called basic awareness. You followed me. No. I watched you get into an Uber at the airport while you were supposed to be flying to Vegas. I didn't even have to zoom in. The rest? Just paying attention. That's when the wine glass flew. Red wine. Nice Merlot, probably. It smashed against the wall, nowhere near me, but points for drama. Looked like CSI, Napa Valley. Get out, she shrieked. I shook my head slowly. This is my house too. She opened her mouth to fire back, but I held up a finger like I was correcting a toddler. Actually, I said, it's my house. Inherited from my grandmother. You never put your name on it. Her mouth opened again, then paused. Remember? I added, with a little grin. You said it was too much paperwork. I'll take half of everything else, she said, arms crossed like she'd just won a reality show and not, torched her own marriage. I shrugged. What else? My 401k? Sure, take half. Enjoy those early withdrawal penalties, champ. My car, she snapped. Already yours. The savings account, she added, like it was some secret treasure chest. Got about $8,000 in there, I said. Have fun with your 4. She blinked. The math wasn't the problem. The lack of drama was. See, what Naomi didn't know was that while she was out here living like a real housewife of credit card county, spa days, designer bags, the works, I was quietly playing the long game. Not preparing for divorce exactly, but definitely preparing for life. While she made it rain at Sephora, I was paying off the house, maxing out my retirement contributions, living like a Depression-era squirrel. Frugality? Sexy. She always handled her paycheck, I handled mine. Separate accounts. Her idea, by the way. Modern marriage, she called it. More like financial solo missions under the banner of teamwork. And now she was staring at me like I'd pulled off a heist. You scum sucker, she hissed. You planned this. No, Naomi, I replied. You planned this. I just hired a lawyer first. She's been blowing up my phone since I left for the hotel. A highlight reel of desperation and whiplash. We can work this out. I'll destroy you. Please come home. You'll regret this. Honestly, it's like watching someone try every button on a vending machine and still not get the Snickers. Jeremy, my lawyer, superhero, and apparently part-time therapist, told me to keep it all. Evidence is evidence, he said with a shrug. He's got that calm, lethal lawyer vibe that says I've seen worse, and it lost in court. The funniest part? She still thinks there's some master plan. Like I've got offshore accounts, buried gold, a Cayman Islands P.O. box. There isn't. I just hired the lawyer she wanted first. That's it. That's the tweet. Turns out, when you're planning to blindside someone, it helps if they're actually blind. Well, the entitlement level has officially hit. Watch this with popcorn status. So Monday morning, Naomi got served. At work. In front of her coworkers. By a process server in a full suit. I didn't ask for the fashion statement, but I respect the commitment. Apparently, it was quite the scene. She called me. Once. Try 36 times. In 1 hour. Did I answer? LOL. Then came the texts. How dare you humiliate me like that? You're going to pay for this. I want you out of my house now. I'm calling the police. You've started a war you can't win. That last one, honestly made me laugh out loud in the hotel hallway. Probably scared the cleaning staff. Lady, you started this war. I just fired the first shot with better aim. I stayed at the hotel through Tuesday. Thought I'd give her some space. You know, time to reflect. Calm down. Maybe journal. Big mistake. Wednesday morning, I came home to change clothes and grab some stuff. Front door was locked. Normal, right? Except my key didn't work. Now, I'm not a locksmith, but when you jam your house key in your own door and it just spins like a game show wheel, it tends to raise a few questions. She'd changed the locks. On my house. The house I inherited from my grandmother. The house her name isn't even on because she once told me, and I quote, "It's too much paperwork." So naturally, I called Jeremy. Document everything, he said immediately. Then call a locksmith. So there I was, standing in my own driveway like a burglar with boundaries, snapping photos like I was on assignment for better homes and betrayals. While I waited for the locksmith to show up, I wandered around to the back. Just killing time. That's when I noticed it. New security cameras. Multiple. Pointed directly at every entrance like she thought I was going to rappel in through a window with a grappling hook and a GoPro. But wait, there's more. My car. My beautiful, paid-off, 2-year-old RAV4. Now looked like it had been dipped in cake batter and left to rot. Except this wasn't flour. It was concrete mix. Wet, dried, cured concrete. Someone, and I won't name names, but it rhymes with schmattily, had mixed concrete powder with water and poured it all over my vehicle. I tapped the hood, solid as a sidewalk. Could have played handball on it. So, I did what any reasonable adult would do. Took 100 photos. Maybe 120. Called the police. They showed up just as the locksmith van pulled in. Honestly, it looked like a crime scene and an HGTV episode had a very angry baby. While the officer was taking my statement, who should appear? Naomi. She pulled up, spotted the police car and locksmith van in her driveway, and immediately went DEFCON 1. Officers, this man is breaking into my house. I turned to her, calm as a monk. Ma'am, I live here. It's my house. We're married. It's marital property. The officer flipped through my documentation. License with this address. Property deed in my name only. I saw the light bulb flicker on. Ma'am, he asked, did you change these locks? I have every right to protect myself. Nice dodge. Did you pour concrete on his vehicle? Her eyes did a quick dance, and she hit us with, I don't know what you're talking about. Which would have been a decent bluff, if not for the open bag of Quikrete sitting in her garage, visible from where we were standing. Bright orange label and all. The officer tilted his head. Ma'am, there's concrete mix in your garage. I can see the bag from here. That shut her up real quick. She looked like someone had unplugged her personality. Just buffering. The officer gave her a warning about destruction of property and calmly explained she couldn't lock me out of my own house. Meanwhile, the locksmith, absolute professional, went to work swapping the locks back while Naomi stood nearby, quietly seething like a kettle without a whistle. And here's where it gets really good. Remember that girl's trip group chat she proudly showed me? The one with all the plans, the shows, the hashtags? Well, I reached out to one of the girls. Maeve. Sweet, cheerful Maeve who once got tipsy on 2-ciders and cried over a dog adoption ad. I sent her a casual text. Hey, hope you all had fun in Vegas. She replied. Vegas? What? We haven't done a girls' trip in like 2 years. Is everything okay? Oh yeah. Turns out Naomi had faked the entire thing. Group chat, screenshots, and everything. So yeah, Naomi created this whole elaborate lie, group chat, itinerary, fake emojis, and everything, just to cover up meeting with divorce lawyers. But that still didn't answer one burning question. Why the hotel room? Why room service for two? Was she trying to impress the lawyers with oysters and bubbly? Did she think the Marriott points would help her win custody of the air fryer? Well, Thursday gave me the answer. I got a call from her sister, Clara. Now, Clara and I always got along. She's the normal one in the family, had a job, didn't collect red flags like trading cards. She didn't even say hello. What the hell is going on? She demanded. Naomi's staying with me and she's acting insane. I took a breath and gave her the short version. The executive summary. Found out about the lawyers. Filed first. Now she's melting down. There was a pause on the line, then Clara said, "Wait. She told me you were the one who wanted the divorce. Said you'd been planning it for months. Said she found emails to lawyers on your computer." I blinked. I didn't even think about divorce until I found out she was planning it. Long pause. Then Clara whispered, "Oh my God, she's been setting you up." And just like that, the fog lifted. Turns out Naomi had been running a full-blown PR campaign to her family for months, telling them I was emotionally abusive, controlling, planning to ditch her out of nowhere, laying the groundwork, planting little seeds of poor me. Meanwhile, I'm over here Googling anniversary trips and trying to figure out if I should buy almond milk or oat. Those hotel meetings? Yeah, she was recording them, trying to bait the lawyers into saying stuff on tape about how to protect herself from her abusive husband. She was building a documentary, a tragic little narrative where she's the misunderstood heroine, and I'm the villain who yells about thermostats. Her plan was honestly kind of brilliant, Oscar-worthy, even. Step 1, make me look like the devil. Step 2, get everyone on her side. Step 3, serve me papers while playing the role of broken-hearted survivor. Only one tiny flaw. She never thought I'd find out first. She definitely didn't think I'd file first. Which brings us to Friday. Yesterday, I was working from home, living my quiet, legally supported life, when I heard a commotion outside. Looked out the window and saw a tow truck backing into the driveway, already halfway hooked up to my car. Yes, the concrete-covered RAV4. I ran outside like a man in a Hallmark movie, chasing a misunderstanding. "Hey, that's my car." Tow truck guy just shrugged, held up his clipboard. "Says here, Naomi owns it." I blinked. "No, I own it. It's in my name. I have the title." He gave me the universal "I don't get paid enough for this" face. "Look, buddy, I just do what the paperwork says." So I called the police. Again. And guess who showed up? Same officer from Wednesday. Poor guy looked like he'd aged 5 years in 3 days. He stepped out of the cruiser with a sigh that could have powered a wind farm. I explained what happened. He looked over the tow paperwork and immediately spotted the issue. Naomi had forged my signature. She submitted a tow authorization claiming the car was abandoned on her property, which is rich, considering I live there and she doesn't. The officer rolled his eyes so hard I thought they might stay that way. He made the tow truck unhook the car. Wrote Naomi another citation, this one for fraud. She didn't take it well. I think the only thing she hasn't thrown at me yet is a bookshelf. But the best part? While she was out front orchestrating her low-budget fast and furious tow truck stunt, my lawyer was busy, too. Turns out when you accuse someone of being abusive in divorce proceedings, the court doesn't just hand you a crown and a confetti cannon. They actually want proof. Evidence. Documentation. You know, pesky little things like facts. Naomi had none of that. Not a single thing. Because, and I know this might shock you, I was never abusive. Not once. Not even close. The closest I ever came to violence was slamming the cabinet too hard when I realized we were out of coffee. Meanwhile, I had a documentary worth of material on her. Surveillance-level texts and emails proving the Vegas lie. Paper trails showing she'd been meeting with lawyers behind my back while cuddling up on the couch like everything was peachy. A fake group chat she created so it would look like she was going on a girl's trip. And that was just her warm-up act. Then came the grand finale. Dumping concrete on my car. Locking me out of my own house. Forging my signature to tow said concrete-caked car. 36. Yes, 36. Threatening voicemails that sounded like rejected Lifetime monologues. Hundreds of texts so unhinged, even my spam filter started sending sympathy cards. Jeremy, my lawyer, God bless his caffeine addiction, filed an emergency motion like he was submitting a Hail Mary in the fourth quarter. "We're going to ask for exclusive use of the marital home and a temporary restraining order," he said, flipping through pages like he was dealing Uno cards in hell. "Think the judge will go for it?" I asked. Jeremy just gave me a look like, "Buddy, she poured concrete on your car." Fair enough. The judge went for it. As of 6 p.m. yesterday, Naomi is legally banned from coming within 100 feet of me or the house. A whole 100 feet. I even measured it with a tape measure for fun. She had 2 hours to collect essentials with a police escort. I was sipping tea. Yes, actual tea, like a smug little British man in a murder mystery, when the officer knocked on the door. Behind him, Naomi stood like a thundercloud in yoga pants. No makeup, no smirk, just raw, unsweetened fury. "This is my house, too," she snapped, trying to push past the officer. "Ma'am," he said calmly, "you'll have your day in court. For now, you're here to pack a bag." "He's the abuser," she barked, pointing at me like I was Voldemort. "I have recordings." The officer turned to her. "Recordings of what?" She flinched. Of him being mean." The officer blinked. "Ma'am, being mean isn't illegal. Pouring concrete on someone's car is." Boom. I had to turn away to hide the grin. Naomi stomped around the house like a sullen tornado, grabbing clothes and slamming drawers. She tried to take the TV. "Ma'am, essentials only," the officer reminded. "I need the TV to sleep." "Try a pillow," he replied. She yanked at the curtains next. "Ma'am, they're mine. They're nailed to the wall." Finally, she stormed toward the door with her duffel bag of essentials, which I'm 90% sure contained more passive aggression than clothing. Then, she paused and spun around. "No more games, Jared," she growled. "You think you won?" I blinked. "Kinda seems like it. I'm going to destroy you. I'm going to take everything. You'll be living in a cardboard box when I'm done." I chuckled. "Make sure it's at least a 2-bedroom. She stepped closer. "I know things about you. Things that will end you. Oh, please, do enlighten me." Like, she stammered. "I'll make things up if I have to." The officer stepped between us. "Ma'am, did you just say you're going to commit perjury?" Silence. She grabbed her bag and left without another word. And now? It's been 24 hours of peace. So, my car's getting detailed Monday. Because, concrete. Not bird poop or pollen, concrete. Like I ran afoul of a vengeful mason. Thankfully, insurance is treating it as vandalism, which is a nice way of saying, yeah, that's some real psycho behavior right there. The house is quiet. No passive-aggressive clinking of dishes. No midnight guilt trips. Just me, a box of takeout, and a lineup of movies Naomi couldn't stand. Die Hard, Hot Fuzz, anything involving explosions, British accents, or what she called unnecessary plot violence. So basically, all the good stuff. But I know this isn't over. Naomi's the human embodiment of a wasp nest you think you got rid of, until it's suddenly in your attic, furious and full of drama. Jeremy, my lawyer, who I'm now convinced deserves a Nobel Peace Prize, told me flat out, be ready for anything. Document everything. Don't engage unless absolutely necessary. And I thought, bring it on. Because clearly, we're doing divorce, the theatrical cut now. A week of blissfully quiet post-restraining order calm. Just me in silence. Then, kaboom. I get a letter from the IRS. You know, the kind that makes your stomach drop and your credit score whimper. Apparently, someone had filed a report accusing me of significant tax fraud, like 5 years worth. As if I'm some kind of offshore account hiding crypto bro. It was all bogus, obviously, but it had enough suspiciously specific detail that the IRS had to investigate. Which was delightful. Now here's the kicker. Naomi never once paid attention to our finances. I'd hand her the tax forms every year, and she'd sign them like she was autographing a yearbook. No reading, no questions, just, where do I sign so I can go back to scrolling Pinterest? So how does someone go from zero financial knowledge to filing a borderline plausible IRS complaint? Answer, she doesn't. But her new boyfriend does. Oh yes, remember that hotel receipt? The one she swore was just lawyers and me? Babe, nothing sketchy? Yeah, turns out those lawyers were accompanied by Griffin, her coworker. You know, the one who was just a friend and not her type because he was too into finance. Guess what Griffin does for a living? Tax. Consultant. Yup, she really committed to the bit. But here's where it gets gloriously stupid. Griffin, being the financial genius that he is, filed the IRS complaint from his work computer. Because nothing screams, I'm a criminal mastermind, like using a company-issued laptop to commit fraud against your girlfriend's ex. So the IRS gets this wildly detailed complaint and asks themselves, wait, how would she even know this stuff? They reach out to Griffin's firm for clarification. The firm checks his computer logs, finds everything. Result? Griffin gets canned. Hard. Lost his job, his license, probably his printer access. Apparently, using your professional credentials to forge IRS reports for your girlfriend is frowned upon in the tax world. Who knew? While Griffin's career was imploding in real time, Naomi wasn't done. Nope. She played her next card. The abuse recordings. So after Griffin got himself professionally yeeted out of the tax world, Naomi thought it was time to launch phase 2. The Jared is a monster campaign. Her lawyer, clearly just collecting checks at this point, sent over dozens of audio files. I mean, the kind of evidence dump you'd expect in a Netflix documentary called He Seemed Normal. But here's the fun part. Every single one was laughably edited. Like, if a middle school AV club tried to frame someone for war crimes, this would be it. I remember sitting there with my lawyer and an actual audio expert. Yes, I had to hire a guy with headphones and a forensic degree, while he clicked through them like. Notice here, the background noise changes mid-sentence. This is your microwave beeping, then suddenly birds chirping. That's because I was making a sandwich and apparently threatening her with carbs. One threatening clip was me saying, "I'm going to make a sandwich," followed by Naomi screaming, "Just admit you hate me." Then you hear me again, "I'm not doing this, Naomi." Her voice, mid-breakdown, "You're pathetic." Apparently, that's abuse now, me choosing ham over her drama. But wait, it gets better. I wake up one morning, bleary-eyed, walk outside to grab my coffee, and boom, there it is. Signs. Everywhere. Abuser lives here. Danger to women. Protect your daughters. One of them had glitter. I don't know why, but that offended me the most. Luckily, my neighbor, the real MVP, had security cameras. Guess who got caught at 3 a.m. directing her flying monkey brigade like she was staging Cats? The revenge tour? Yep. Naomi. Clapping her hands, pointing dramatically, whisper yelling, "No, more to the left." The glitter one goes by the mailbox. She got arrested for violating the restraining order. I'd say finally, but honestly, at this point it felt overdue. Like arresting a tornado after it leveled your house. And while she was cooling off in county, Griffin pulled the ultimate plot twist. The dude flipped. Shows up to my lawyer's office like he's in witness protection with boxes, emails, texts, even voice memos. The whole conspiracy. Turns out, Naomi had been planning this scorched earth campaign for over a year. And the motive? Money. Of course. Because nothing says you hurt me like, "I'd like your 401k, please." Oh, and bonus heartbreak. She'd been on birth control the entire time. Kept telling me she wanted to build a family. I spent 8 years buying baby books and assembling cribs we never used while she told Griffin she never wanted kids with that loser. That's me. The loser. Building a dream. She was building a legal Molotov cocktail. Then came the trial. Naomi, in peak dramatic fashion, walked in wearing a white wedding dress. No joke. Said she wanted to mourn the relationship properly. The judge, bless his dry judicial soul, looked over his glasses and went, "Ma'am, this is a courtroom, not a funeral. Change." She did. But that wasn't even the weirdest part. Her lawyer, finally realizing he wasn't paid enough for this circus, quit. Right there. Just pieced out. Left her to represent herself, which, if you've ever seen a possum try to play chess, was pretty much what happened. She tried submitting the same laughably edited audio files. The judge blinked, looked at me, then back at her. "You know submitting false evidence in court is a felony, right? Naomi, it's not fake. It's dramatic license." Me. "This isn't an episode of Law and Order, Naomi." Then she pulls out a psychological evaluation. Guess who wrote it? Naomi. First person. Like a Yelp review of her own sanity. My lawyer actually whispered, "Is this performance art?" During a break, I'm getting coffee, trying to keep my blood pressure under control, and here comes Naomi in full Disney villain energy. She whips out her phone and starts live streaming. "Hello, Facebook. I'm here where my abusive ex is stealing my life." Security shut that down so fast I thought they were going to tackle her. Another restraining order violation. On camera. Because at this point, why not? The judge finally sat down and reviewed everything. He looked like a man who had just read a particularly spicy fanfic about himself. He took a deep breath and said, "In 20 years on the bench, I've rarely seen such malicious and deliberate behavior." Outcome. She got the bare minimum from the divorce, like crumbs. My 401k? She got the minimum. Her car? She got to keep it. She got $30,000 for her belongings. But then, she owed me $5,000 for the car damage, $15,000 in legal fees, and $10,000 in punitive damages. And the DA? Oh, they love this case. Picked up everything. Illegal recording. False federal filing. Forgery. Multiple restraining order violations. She got sentenced to 18 months. Could have just gotten probation if she'd shown even a shred of remorse. But nah, Naomi doesn't do remorse. Instead, she looked the judge dead in the eye, eyeliner smudged just right for maximum tragedy, and said, "I'm the real victim here." The judge blinked. "Do you have any actual evidence of abuse?" And Naomi, bless her delusional heart, goes, "He made sandwiches when I was trying to communicate." Yeah, the crown jewel of emotional terror. I made a turkey sandwich. Honestly, Your Honor, slap the cuffs on me now. Mayo and mustard, together. That's textbook manipulation. But then Griffin, in his one and only moment of redemption, submitted the piece de resistance video from her phone. Naomi, in our bathroom mirror, practicing her victim face. You heard me. There she was, blending foundation while deadpanning to the mirror. I'm scared of him. Pause. Tilt head. Pout. Does this look believable? She even adjusted her lighting. Added concealer. Because when you're about to fake abuse allegations, you must be dewy. She's serving time now. That video didn't just sink her, it torpedoed her entire Titanic of BS. And guess what? She already sent me a letter from jail. Wants mediation. To restore the marriage, she wrote. My lawyer framed it. It's hanging in his office like a hunting trophy, right next to his Harvard degree. He calls it Exhibit A in delusion. Where am I now? Good. Real good. House is mine. Fully mine. I even redid the bathroom. The scene of the great victim face rehearsal. You can still smell the desperation in the drywall. I'm in therapy. Not because of her. Because I spent 8 years with someone who thought, I'm scared of him, was a romantic improv warm-up. I'm also dating again. And yes, she knows the whole story. I told her on our second date, right after dessert. Her only question, do you still make sandwiches under pressure? Naomi's family. Cut her off. Her cousin sent me a bottle of bourbon with a note that said, sorry for the gene pool. Griffin works in a call center now. Press 1 if your fake abuse claim has backfired. IRS cleared me completely. Turns out, submitting a forged federal complaint isn't just unethical, it's a felony. Who knew? And that moment, the one that always comes back to me, was when she smirked and asked, is the little boy going to cry? She was right. I did cry. Once. In my lawyer's office. Because I realized the person I loved for 8 years never existed. It was like finding out your childhood dog was actually a raccoon in a costume. But here's the twist. I didn't win by fighting dirty. I didn't have to. I stayed calm. I documented everything. And I hired the right lawyer. Sometimes, hiring their divorce lawyer first is the best money you'll ever spend. Dear listeners, please share your thoughts in the comments section below and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.